appreciate you being out here today. Good Wednesday practice, you know, good, very competitive way to end the day as well. That being said, questions?
How are Forsyth and Stevens looking?
Forsyth is 100% done everything. Stevens, it's going to be, I think we'll know by tomorrow where he's going to be at. But you know, we're progressing cautiously with him, but he's done a good job.
Apple's good to go?
Apple's good to go.
Is Forsyth, you said he's 100% good to go. Does that mean like you just wait and see it on game day, or is he like you fully expecting him to play?
I think we'll have this conversation. We've had it 4 weeks in a row, so I hate to say one thing and then, you know.
That's just what I'm trying to clarify, if it's the same as previous or.
I feel great about it.
Yeah.
So because it's been unpredictable, so to speak, I'm gonna just say that's where he's at right now. We've done everything possible with him, and he's practiced full throttle every rep. So.
Has Ryan done enough in center to make that a competition, or is he the center if he's assuming he's available?
Well, there's flexibility there. It's always going to be a competition. You know, Dawson's in there getting some reps at center too. All those guys. We snap, you know, about 4 guys during the week in practice in case something may happen. You know, and right now that's, you know, the move is one of those 2 guys. So.
Looking at Washington offense and defense, are there teams that you've played already that they are similar to? I asked this because Chase Garbers said that they did so well against Oregon State because they played against them, that kind of defense all the time at Cal. Is there something somewhat similar, and how important is that?
Well, I mean, there's we have some similarities in the defensive stuff we do in some of the teams that we have played. I think in this conference you'll see a 40 to 60% carryover week to week. There are some things, and they do some really unique things as well. This, all in all, it's a very talented outfit. Some really good football players.
Certainly have a size advantage at receiver compared to their corners, but their pass defense has been outstanding. Just what have you seen particularly from McDuffie and Bradley Heil?
Really talented guys, play really well, use good technique, fast, explosive guys, good tacklers, disciplined eyes. It's really good football players.
Coach, I'm assuming you heard the comments from Jimmy Lake earlier this week. Curious if you have any thoughts on it?
Every single ounce of our focus on the game.
Do you believe in bulletin board material? Like, do you guys use that internally at all, those kind of comments?
And
bulletin board material, like, does that resonate at all?
No, it never really has, but I'm familiar with the concept, but it doesn't, it's not the thing for us. I'm sure guys hear and see things, but, you know, we were just very real. We don't ignore, we acknowledge, we move on.
Do you consider your staff to have recruiting rivals, or is it just about what you guys do and what other people do, whether it be here, there, or
anywhere? We do our job to the best of our ability. We believe in our processes, trust our eyes, trust our evaluations and our assessments, and we respectfully recruit the guys that we feel are the very best in the country.
With the rankings last night, beyond number 4 and all that, again, it only matters, like you point out, keep winning. But many have made the observation about the 2015 Bama staff and that the 4 of you are in the top 4. Do you think there's something to that Nick and Kirby and you and Mel are leading teams that are up there right now?
I don't know. I don't really have time to assess stuff like that. I know those guys really well. Had the honor of working with them. Great guys, great coaches. I'm sure every single one of the guys mentioned are doing the exact same thing and focusing on being 1-0.
Coach, it's hard to ignore that those rankings came out yesterday. Obviously, you guys saw them. What was the team's reaction, and how do you respond to something like that going forward?
Well, I don't think it's a matter of ignoring at all. I think you acknowledge it and you make sure that it's just not part of your process. It never was to this point, so, I mean, we're in week, what are we in, 9? Game number 9. There's a lot of football to be played, and you can't even look past this game. You can't even think about the other games coming down the stretch. So I think all that stuff, again, it's part of, you know, what we do for a living, but it's not part of our daily process. It's not part of the mindset. It's not part of our motivation. I mean, it's just part of the big picture.
Is there any sort of amplified energy because of that ranking, or considering Saturday is the rivalry game, or is it just same business?
Rivalries in general always bring out more intensity, it's more of everything, right? They bring out the best and the worst in everybody all the time, and that's why college football is the best sport on earth. There's a lot of intensity, a lot of emotion, a lot of passion, pageantry, you name it. And, you know, again, tremendous rivalry. Looking forward to Saturday.
You always talk about control things that you can control, and the path, though, is where if you win your games, you kind of control your own destiny. Is that at least a positive to look at these rankings, knowing that do you worry about and control things?
Well, I think when you mention rankings again, that's not part of what we do. What we're looking at is today's practice, tonight's meetings, whatever walkthroughs we have tomorrow, just one step at a time. We're not even in tomorrow's walkthroughs yet. We're still, right now we're trying to get these guys class in time, make sure they got a belly full of food, and make sure they're recovering, taking care of their business, get them back and clean up this film. So a lot of work to do in preparation for this game. So that being the case, again, that works for us. It's not going to be, it's probably going to be the most boring press conference we have, because it's going to be the redundancy of that's what we're doing. But to be honest with you, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. But the juicy response ain't going to come out, man. You guys know me by now.
You mentioned the rivalry, aspects of rivalries in general. Is there an unfinished element because of last year and the no contest and tweets about division championships and all those sorts of things?
I just think you keep going this way, and I keep bringing it back to this way. We're focused on this game, and that's what it's about. 1-0.
Offense had its best day of the year. How was, last couple of days coming off so much success? How they responded in practice? How's that going?
Well, when you have a day like that, you start to see all your work pay off a little bit more. Guys get really enthused about how the playbook is growing. Our execution is getting better, and that's what it really came down to. We've been playing hard all year, but we executed better. So pouring more focus into that, pouring more energy into each other, to the teammates, to make sure that we lift each other up and just really ignite our sense of urgency for high-level execution. That's what, at this time of year, your technique, your fundamentals, your level of execution, your attention to details, your physicality, your effort, your finish, all those things have to be elevating bit by bit. Teams that don't are the ones that suffer, in November, when bodies are more sore, right, beat up a little bit. You're going down the stretch, the weather changes, the games are rivalry games, more difficult, opponents. So all that stuff right now, the little things, the 1-0s and all those things are what really come to the forefront of our preparation.
Coach, we've always talked about playing your best football at the end of the year. Do you feel like you're on that kind of trajectory where you're going in that direction?
We're striving for it. I think there's flashes, and I think there's been some moments during the season where you feel like you're getting there, and then you have a frustrating, little setback, or you don't get quite the result that you want, but you feel like, man, you're always honest with yourself. Are you close? Is it fixable? Or are you a world away? And we always felt like there were things that as we progress and just got a little bit better here and improved a little bit better over there, that things were going to start clicking. We feel things are clicking, but we still feel that there is a big chunk that's right there in front of us that we got to get better at. And there's a very strong drive towards doing that, and that's where the focus is, quite honestly. If you were out there in practice, all you're seeing is us working on the things that we feel could make us a good football team, and nothing else. Just getting after it.
A big chunk more on offense or defense, about the same. If you say what part of the game might need better?
I think it's everywhere. Because the big goal is to have consistency, right? And that's one thing where there's finally some progress there. Well, to be consistent, you gotta be consistent, right? So it's gotta keep showing up again and again. It starts with practice. It's starting to show up in practice more consistently. We're pushing the tempo, we're pushing the level of urgency, of execution, of competition, every way, shape, or form possible, and we expect to have results because of that.
Mario, something we see surprisingly year after year in college football is players crossing the goal line thinking they've scored a touchdown and dropping the ball before they were actually in the end zone. Have you ever had a conversation with your ball carriers about that? And do you think it's something your team would ever find themselves in this situation?
Do I think our team would ever do that? Well, as much emphasis as we place on the importance of doing things the right way, I would hope not. If we do, the guy might as well keep running up the tunnel in the locker room, I don't want to see him, Score appropriately, give the ball to the official, go next play.
On sort of that same note, you guys didn't commit a penalty in the first half against Colorado. I think you had 5 on the day. Is that an area where you feel like you guys have really started to clean things up?
Last game we did. We try to clean it up every day. You see officials are here every single day. We do force some more opponent penalties than probably anybody in the conference because we do play aggressively. With that, you got to stay on the, it's not a fine line, it's a clear line, and you got to stay on this side of it, and sometimes we've treaded over it. And that's where we have, at least last game, we improved on that part. We improved, and we got to keep improving. down the stretch, right, turnovers and penalties, you see it continue to show up in wins and losses around the country. So we still got to get better.
In these types of games,
Last
rivalries, we always see emotions sometimes spill out onto the field. Do you like your team playing with emotion, or do you want them to be pretty even-keeled in a game like this, especially on the road where they want to, air quote, ruin the season type deal?
I think when you play the game of football, your levels of passion have to be through the roof and beyond. And that can never, ever change. And anyone I've never played with anyone, coached with anyone that can honestly just say or feel any differently. I mean, football is the greatest sport on the face of the earth. It's our passion. We're looking forward to an awesome opportunity. Okay.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.